Hey everybody, it's Rod with VanGuns coming back at you with another video. Monday, I went out with some friends down to the range. I had two guns that I had recently acquired, one at Christmas time and one I just got last month that I hadn't shot yet. The first one was a muzzle loader that my wife got me for Christmas. I'd never shot a muzzle loader, didn't know anything about muzzle loading, and so I thought I would try that out. I also built a 300 Blackout 16-inch AR. I shot both of those. I had a great time out at the range with my buddies. The AR shot great. But the thing I really had a blast shooting was the muzzle loader. This thing is awesome. I want to talk about my experience, my first experience shooting a muzzle loading rifle. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. This is not an expensive gun, guys. Again, my wife got it for me for Christmas, but we kind of went down together to get it. So, and this is just the CVA Wolf. This is their entry-level gun. Okay, 250 bucks, I think is what that was. 250 bucks. CVAs are made in Spain. They're in the same town as Bergara rifles. I don't know if they're related to Bergara or not, but these are made in Bergara, Spain, if I'm pronouncing Bergara right. Not sure. $250 for this rifle, as you see it, everything you see here. Couple of interesting things. Number one, they've got a little slot under here where the ramrod goes, if that's what you call it. There's probably a proper technical term for it. Again, I'm new to muzzle loading, so I'm not here to give anyone any advice outside of my experience with this gun. I originally got this in the Northwest edition because up until just recently, the Pacific Northwest, primarily Oregon and Washington, they required musket caps. And you usually can't use the pelletized powder with those either. So you have to use traditional black powder, which a lot of people prefer anyway. Again, me having no experience with muzzle loaders, I was looking to start out with the easiest option. It turns out that I was able to convert this to shotgun primers because Washington recently changed its laws on this, and they now allow you to use shotgun primers. That opened up the opportunity to use pelletized powder. I was using the recommended bullets that CVA recommended for this, which were the Power Belt 50 cal. This is a 50 cal, 295 grain, and they worked great. They've got this little button here right in the trigger, and that breaks the gun. Some people don't like that there. They say it's too easy to accidentally break the gun. I had no issue with that. It's far enough out of the trigger guard that, I just pay attention, guys. It's not like you're shooting these fast. My God, it's a muzzle loader, right? Takes you, 20, 30 seconds to get this thing loaded. So it's all set up for 209 shotgun primers, okay? Simple, right? You put the cap or the shotgun primer right in the back here after you've loaded it. So you've got your pellets in there or your black powder if you're measuring out black powder. Ram that bullet down there. You got to kind of shove it all the way down, kind of seat it in place. And it takes a little bit of effort. These bullets, at least the ones I used, were really, they fit in there tight. And so it does take a little bit of pressure. It's not difficult to do, but if you don't have a lot of strength, if you're older or you're just a smaller frame person and you don't have a lot of strength, it could be a challenge to get them down in there. And you want to make sure that that bullet is seated in there properly. The nice thing about the pelletized loads is you don't have to put a patch in there to make this. I mean, it's just an easier thing to do. The 2 or 3 pellets, I started out with 2, then I went to the Magnum load. And that's where you put 3 pellets in there, supposed to be 150 grains. Couple things I really love about this rifle. Front sight is fiber optic, rear sight's fiber optic. Sight picture on this was fantastic. They are both windage and elevation adjustable. I had no problem acquiring a sight picture with this gun. I was shooting it at 50 yards at the range with the iron sights. In Washington, you have to use, traditional sights. You cannot put any kind of optic on the gun. Not a red dot, not a telescopic. Well, you might be able to put a red dot. I think they say no telescopic optics. So theoretically, I think you could use a red dot. But I'm planning on hunting with this thing and just using the iron sights. I'm going old school, man. This thing is drilled and tapped up top for an optic. Okay, so, but again, in Washington, we're not allowed to put optics on them, so I'm not going to. Very simple, works like a single action revolver. You load it in the front, you break the gun, put the cap in the back here. It literally just fits right over this little nipple here. You lock it in place, pull the hammer back just like a single action only revolver, and pull the trigger. Hammer goes, gun goes bang. Here's what's cool about muzzle loaders, and a lot of you may, if you've ever seen these things go off, a huge plume of smoke comes out the front of these things. I mean, like 6 feet out in front of the gun. And I don't know if that was accentuated by the fact that it was chilly yesterday or Monday at the range. I'm not 100% sure, but it got everybody's attention. And it's just cool. There's just something cool about this huge, there's a little, not so much a flash, it was daytime, but just this massive plume of smoke that comes out the front of the thing. And that just kind of makes it fun. The gun was shockingly accurate. I had never shot it. I didn't adjust the sights. I did that right out of the box. And I was about maybe 2 inches low on that very first shot and I was aiming right at the bullseye. And I was maybe 2 inches low and right under it. So I took a couple more shots and they were all a little low. So I'm going to do a little a little elevation adjustment on this. I think I just need maybe 2 MOA. I might even go, these things supposedly have a little more bullet drop than traditional centerfire rifles. So, I might even play around with it, maybe go a half MOA high or whatever, or even, 2 MOA. I'm going to sight this to 50 yards. I'm not going to sight this to 100 yards. I'm going to try and get, archery close with this thing if I can. With the standard 2 pellet load, this thing did not kick nearly as hard as I expected it to do, pushing a 300 grain bullet. It had a little bit of recoil. Probably similar to my 30-06, or honestly, probably closer to my 243 Winchester. It has a really nice, for the money, guys, for the money. I mean, let's remember, $250 here. This is a pretty good recoil pad for a $250 rifle. It absorbed that recoil really well. This thing only weighs about 6 pounds. It's super lightweight. When I put the Magnum load in, 3 pellets, okay, it recoiled pretty hard then. That thing hit like a 12 gauge break action shotgun. It was a thud, maybe even more than a 12 gauge break action shotgun. It was amazing how 1 extra pellet, 50% more powder, really changed the behavior of this gun. Now, was it hard to handle? No, but I knew it was going to kick hard. I did the math on it. What the recoil is going to be. It was going to be, it was calculated out at 38 pounds of recoil. Again, totally manageable though. If you can shoot a break action 12 gauge shotgun, that's how it felt to me. So I'm really happy. And I think this recoil pad is pretty good for a $250 gun. Here's the downside. The furniture on this is about as cheap furniture as you can get. It's polymer, and polymer furniture, guys, isn't always cheap. A lot of polymer furniture is beautifully made. Not this one. This is hollow, tinny, chintzy, feels chintzy, looks chintzy. Yeah, I'm thinking about maybe getting better furniture for it. But what do you want for $250, right? What do you want for $250? So I'm not complaining, but I wanted to point that out. It's got this nice satin stainless finish with some good furniture. This would look like a $1,000 gun. I mean, that's really all it needs, to really dress this thing up. The sights were shockingly good, $250. Now, I had to pay about $50 to get the kit to switch this over to shotgun primers. And it took maybe 10 minutes. And I don't think you could do it. If you know your way around a muzzle loader, it'd probably take you, 45 seconds, but I was real slow, paying attention, reading the directions because I wanted to do it right. And so now here's the cool thing. If Washington decides to change their muzzle loading hunting laws and go back to musket caps, I've got that. I baggied up that little kit and it's in my gun safe in a little parts tray. I can switch this back to musket cap. So I have the best of both worlds. All told, with the conversion kit and everything, I'm under $300 on this rifle. How can I not be happy with that? It was accurate out of the box, more accurate than I expected. I only ran 6 loads through it. 3 standard 2-pellet loads and 3 of the Magnum 3-pellet loads. That's all I ran through it. It was just, I took it out just to try it out. I wasn't doing anything kind of serious. I was just having fun. And honestly, I only shot 5. I let my buddy Phil shoot one of the loads as well. He wimped out. He didn't want to shoot the Magnum load. Anyway, good gun. Guys, if you want to get into muzzle loading and you want to do it on a budget, I can recommend this CVA Wolf, $250. I have no regrets about this at all. Okay, so that's all I got on the gun today. Again, I used the Power Belt 295 50 cal bullets that was recommended by CVA. I used these Federal 209 shotgun primers, and I used the 777 pelletized powder here. These seem to work great. I also bought these. I think I got these on Amazon, actually. These are kind of clever, inexpensive. You stick your primers in here. They give you 3 tubes to put your charge in, and then 4 primers, right? Now, apparently this will work on musket caps and powder as well. And musket caps are a little less reliable. I think that's why they give you an extra. They give you 4 primers and only 3 rounds. But you shove it all in the tube here, and then that way you break this thing out. It's just a silicon pack. You kind of break it out like that, and then you put it up over the gun. The pellets drop down, or if it's a powder charge, the powder drops down, and then your bullet just drops down right over the top of it. So I thought these were kind of handy. I don't know what you guys think. You can tell me in the comments if you think these are garbage or not. They seem to be. I kind of liked them. Sped up the process, and it seemed to be kind of fun. Great way to kind of carry your charges. So I had 6. This one I used for Magnums. This one I used for standard loads, and it was kind of fun. So anyway, that's what I got, guys. I'd love to hear your comments if you're a muzzleloader shooter, how you guys like to shoot yours. It was fun. It was genuinely fun. So whether or not I'm going to get animals with this thing, whether I'm going to be sneaky enough to get up close to them, I'm definitely not expecting to take 150-yard shots with the muzzleloader. I know there's guys out there that do it, and the energy that comes out of these things is plenty to theoretically shoot well beyond that and still have killing energy. So, but I know my limitations with traditional sights, and so I'm gonna try and take my shots inside of 100 yards with this gun. And but it was just fun. It was just really fun to shoot the gun. I wouldn't call it inexpensive to shoot. I'll calculate it out and put it up here. It's not a cheap shooting experience, but it's not like you're going to blow through. You're not going to go to the range and like with an AR and oh man, where'd those 200 rounds go? That's just not how it works with the muzzle loader. So even though it's expensive per shot, it's a slow, methodical system, and so that makes you think about your shots a little bit more. And so I had 30 or 40 minutes of fun with this thing, 6 shots. So anyway. I don't know if that was helpful or not. I hope it was, but I can recommend that CVA Wolf as an inexpensive muzzle loader that is just a load of fun to use, and the gun worked perfectly. That's all I got today. This is Rod from VanGuns saying see you next time.